All right, well, we're back after a quick break, and the conversation's been great so far. This is exactly what I wanted to see happen, but you had that feeling too in the last 20 minutes that, you know, this isn't a traditional interview where, you know, someone's dying to make the best story possible, even though they might not know you guys. And that's, you know, this is a really, we haven't met more than a couple times, and Scott and I, you know, we were just talking about the basis of the importance of forming relationships in the industry. So, you know, right from the beginning, there was no format, no preconceived anything. It's just a joy to have you guys on the show from both your perspectives. Like I say, we started out just doing artist interviews and performances, and I'm trying to expand the whole thing to, you know, the venue perspective. You got a big tour coming up. I was lucky to catch you, huh?
Yeah. We actually, for the last pretty much almost 3 years, have been non-stop. Hugo, our singer, hurt his shoulder, and we had to take about a month-and-a-half break. That's the reason that I'm here now, or I would have never been. It would have, the dates you see now would be in continuation of what was already to become.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Well, I understand with this thing going on.
Yeah.
It's taking a good chunk out of my time.
Yeah, so he's doing better now, and we're going to go out and do a little bit of test run for the next few weeks and see how he holds up and go from there. And we had some good festival things that were booked a year ago that are coming up now, so hopefully we're going to be okay. But I know we'll do these shows, whatever that takes. It's just a matter of whether the booking can continue after this little run.
Well, I looked at your schedule on the website, and besides the websites, what's the website so everybody can get the deal on you guys?
Facebook is the easiest way to get us.
Right.
The other one is tantricband.com.
Yeah, I bet you guys get confused for all sorts of tantric stuff.
If you go to YouTube and punch in tantric, just make sure the kids are in bed.
Yeah.
But you can go tantric band, and usually, even on YouTube, that seems to work pretty well.
Well, you know, I read, like I said, the bios, and Hugo had a description about why he called it tantric. And it was nothing to do about whatever you're thinking, right?
Well, kind of. What happened there was, the story goes that doing the record, the receptionist at the actually original tantric band name was called C4. So the label hated the name C4, and they're like, you gotta do something about that name, and the record's done. And everybody's talking about what do we call this band, and the receptionist was talking to Hugo and was actually talking about tantric sex. She said you should call the band Tantric. And so that was agreed upon, and the band became Tantric.
And so I bet at every show you guys have people coming up and saying, this is my interpretation of tantric and how I relate to it, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, the best part about the thing, I mean, the name, of course, is great, but the songs and people coming up and saying, hey, man, that song got me through a tough time, or, you know, a lot of military people relate to the Mind Control song. And it's, you know, anytime that anybody comes up to me and goes, hey, your show or this song really affected my life, or, you know, this had happened in my life and I went to your show and you guys took me out of that element for an hour or two, and it was awesome. And that's why we do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, this is a business, and we all have to make a living, but, you know, we sacrifice a lot to be out on the road and get to meet these people. And that's what makes it all worth it, when you're sitting there and talk to that guy who, whatever happened to him, and you just influenced his life a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the attraction to music, really, is for me personally, is the, you know, getting that connection with people, them interpreting your emotion that you're trying to get out there.
Well, I noticed in your schedule, and just, you mentioned you got some festival stuff coming up. Festivals are the big fun things, right?
Oh, yeah.
But you guys cover small towns too.
Yeah, we try to be everywhere, and, you know, like I said, we've covered. Last year we did all 50 states, you know, and went through most of the states, you know, 10 times on the zigzag of the world. So if our booking agent is watching this right now, I'm going to buy you a map for Christmas. But he does a good job, I'm just joking. But sometimes you're crisscrossing, going back and forth so that you're hitting the better place or the place that needs the weekend, you know. But you may, if let's just say we're doing Colorado Springs on the weekend, you know, we may have to go down to Durango or down to Phoenix and then come back up here, you know, so that we hit the weekend for the major market.
Well, and that's it. I have a whole lot of, you know, like I said, blues community contacts from meeting them at the IBC in Memphis. And of course, after the IBC and all the performances and all the things over and done with, these people immediately go out and hit the road.
Yeah.
So they're immediately going, hey, can I come play at your place? Can I play at your place? Can I play at your place? And I gotta tell you, it's really hard to match up the dates that they're expecting for your availability, right?
Yes.
And sometimes you have to say, sorry, I just can't do it, or, you know, call up. I don't know if you know, we're a tight community, we're not that tight though sometimes, you know. It's like, no, you can't have that show. Or you can't do 2 shows in one town because of an exclusive arrangement, you know. The artist's perspective is, we're here to make music, you know, get people out, buy CDs. And then us promoters get in the way and say, well, no, you can only do 1 show in my town.
Within a 60-mile radius. I hear that a lot. 30 days. 30
you know,
days.
We do have a lot of bands though that are just local bands somewhere else that are touring, you know, on their own dime, trying to get their music out there. And I mean, if we can't hold a show like that on a Monday or Tuesday, I'm the first one to throw them to any other venue in town or in the area, you know, because it is a small market here, and you know, just to try to help the artists. That's always been like the foundation of what we do here. So
well, I have a list of people that want to play, Christina. Let's check this concept, huh? Because yeah, I mean, some people are real business oriented about, nope, I have a schedule, that's it, no exceptions, don't mess me up. And then there's people that are going to say, sure, come on and play, and then the expectations don't get met, you know. So what is your concept for getting people to play here? You say that you'll pretty much let anybody play.
Well, you know, we are very mistaken here.
Okay, let's screw that up.
A lot. We are very mistaken, and he's just kind of learned, you know, how things are kind of ran, you know, as far as the venue side of things. Where a lot of artists and talents and even promoters are like, oh, play Sunshine Studios live. That's like the stepping stone of a venue, you know, to get out there. But it's completely backwards. We book bands to help them get their music out there. I mean, we held a festival, and our winning band basically got to go expense-paid trip out to Rockapalooza.
So that was the deal with Michael, huh?
Totally.
I'm so glad for them.
I mean, we have bands that drive from Kansas to play here because they know that we're number 40 in the world on iRock live stream.
Say that again? No, really. I mean, this is
number 40 in the world for iRocky.
Because
and that's huge.
You guys are local and independent and doing it without national promotion and management, and so I love it. You know, good for you.
And Tony and I, the last 8 years.
Yeah,
I mean, it's fun, but it's difficult too, because it does have to be lucrative to a point, so we can keep the doors open and, you know, everything like that, and give bands gas money and guarantees and help them out, you know, with recording deals and, you know, stuff like that. But, you know, I guess that if that's a rumor everybody wants to take from this, that we're the beginning stage place to play. If you look at the bands who have played here and have done something with their music and albums, kind of, I guess, speaks for itself.
You know, and it's people like us that, you know, good for you, because that's what I say at my place. It's a coffee shop, doesn't even serve alcohol. And people, I'm booked until August, people want to come and play. And so people are willing and they want to do this stuff, and it's important that there's doors open like your door. And, you know, so how do people get in contact with you? Is there a contact button on your webpage?
Yeah, we do have that, but pick up the phone, walk in.
The relationship builder.
It is all the relationship.
Yes,
and Tony is actually my father.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's been absolutely amazing in this entire thing. I mean, if it wasn't for him, there's, you know, Sunshine Studios Live at all. He had been in this town for the last 30 years playing in local bands himself, so he already had a good relationship, you know, with all the club owners in town and promoters and bands. So, you know, him just being in this market and networking and having the knowledge of, you know, everything, you know, is a real key factor in a lot of this. So.
That's the great thing. So we are obviously in your recording studio, huh?
Yes.
And so you're not in my recording studio, which is a closet compared to this. But so let's talk about that. How do, if bands want to have a recording session, any kind of professional work that you guys do in this regard, how do they, same thing, they call you up and, and say, well, we have a concept, and so then what do you say? It's like, well, do you have a concept refined enough to the point where you're not just going to come in and sit around and try to write stuff in the studio? You know?
Yeah, you know, well, either or, and especially since he's been involved now, there's been more writing and creative process happening inside of here. It's really taken this whole recording studio to the next level. But bands can come in here, discuss, you know, what their goals are for a project, and what they're really trying to get out of it. You know, because there's some project bands that just want something, you know, for themselves, and then there's other ones who want, you know, from A to Z, what we're gonna do. You know, and this is when this guy comes into play, and he'll really help them out.
Yeah, that's great. So you guys must, you're on a reasonable economic scale for this type of service. I mean, there's, you know, everybody is a computer guy.
Sure.
Right.
Everybody's a sound engineer. Everybody's a promoter, and you know, it's not so, huh?
No, it's not so at all.
And so,
I've heard that, you know, I have a recording studio and this sort of thing, you know, people have said that to me all the time, and I said, no, you have a laptop. The big thing, you know, that I can say, and I've got to work in a lot of really cool studios, you know, and I've been really fortunate to meet the people that I've met and make the relationships to where I get to go, you know, I've been in a lot of different cool places. I worked in Nashville a whole lot, you know, because in Kentucky we're so close to Nashville, and there's a lot of big guys down there, and get to hang out with those guys and see what they do in the studio. I had a commercial studio, and I was partners in another studio in Kentucky, so I've been doing this game for a long time. And the difference that I guess that we can offer as a studio, this facility is amazing to begin with, and that's another reason, one of the million reasons I've discussed about coming here. But one of the cool things is from a live standpoint, I sound like, what was so maybe I have to sing a little too much. But is during the live show, if you're a supporting act, you can pay a fee, and not only do you get like a live DVD of yourself, but we can actually record on Pro Tools the entire show, edit it, and you can have a live recording of yourself on your live show with the crowd and all that good stuff.
okay, so what's the percentage of people that take you up on that?
It's not a huge percentage, but it's a fair percentage.
Yeah, see, that's my first question is why not? When the service
Why
is
not?
offered to you, why not?
And and then you can go as far with that as you want.
Oh yeah.
So whatever your budget is, you say, hey, it's cool like it is. I don't care about editing it to death. Just give me what you got, and then your guy with his laptop can take it home and play with it all he wants to. You know, the thing, and I've also been working with a lot of local sound engineers here, and just kind of, you know, mentoring them a little bit, and I've been learning from them too. I mean, we all learn from each other.
Got tricks.
But it's really cool to have a new community for me to get to share that with. But the facility's great here, and any budget that there's a way to record. It's just what you're looking to get out of it. You know,
we all know that, but you know, and that's it. The conditioning goes with young artists. You know, they're expecting it's all going to cost tons of money.
Right.
People are going to be impatient. You're going to want to be on a time schedule, and this is the place. So this is why we wanted to do this too. There's a whole lot of people with self-produced CDs out in Colorado Springs. And
some of them are amazing too.
Well,
I do want to say that.
Yeah.
You know.
Actually collect them all as much as we can to play on our station.
Sure.
And that's the key to our station, is that we don't do the ASCAP VMI thing, so we keep it so everyone can have a chance to be on the radio.
Sure.
And be on an internet audience.
The big difference, not to interrupt you, I'm sorry.
No,
We were
no.
talking about that. I have to pop it in, I'm blonde. So I gotta pop things in when I can. You know, one of the things that I say too, one of the services that we offer too is producing a project versus just recording a project. Because, you know, a lot of people we're all really, you know, in love with what we wrote because it's our art.
Yeah.
But you can take, you know, an outside source that's knowledgeable or what have you, and mend your ideas together and come up with little twists and turns and that always improves the music. And then sometimes you come in and things are so raw and beautiful that that's how they should be.
Oh yeah.
So you know, that's just another thing, because there's everything in every budget. I've had some people fly in and stay here and do some recording, and you know, I offered them package deals and some big name guys that have been here and done some things, maybe.
So
Just mention.
you guys got a pretty good lineup coming up, you know, Jakey Lee.
Oh yeah.
Would you have you do that or what?
No.
Are you pulling in the big guns?
No, actually, no. They were doing this a long time. I mean,
Yeah,
last
I know.
year, Sunshine Studios Live had more national acts than any other venue in town. And, you know, I did research before I came here, just saying. But, and we were one of those guys, one of those bands that came here. But, no, they've been working with every big name booking agent forever and got those relationships built. And, you know, we know a lot of the same people, and that's pretty cool. We went to, you know, NAMM in LA, and, you know, it's like, oh, I know Christina, and oh, I know Scott too, that's cool, you know, hey, how's it going? So, you know, it's pretty neat. But yeah, they're calling the big guns in for me sometimes, so, you know.
But it's funny, every fan that walks through the store, they're like, oh my gosh, Scott, how's it going? You're not on tour, so.
Yeah, I was bartending last night.
I know, he's so awesome, he was helping me out.
She said, will you help me bartend? I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. So, you know, there's people coming up, hey, I know you, man, I saw you in Cleveland, you know.
Oh, I know, I do that, and it just blows people away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's fun.
Like, what are you doing in this city this time? You know, it's like, well, I used to travel a lot with my job, so I'd go see shows wherever I go.
Oh, it's
You
great,
know,
yeah.
Why sit in a hotel room when you can go see music?
And that's what we're talking about, the community, you know, yeah, we got the local community, and it's great to everybody to band together to expand that community and better everyone. And you know, we've tossed around so many ideas about, you know, having like a rock band camp, you know.
Absolutely.
Things like that. And you know, and again, I've done the clinics where, you know, I just have a band come in and I help them get their set together and, you know, give them pointers of what my opinion is that, you know, they need to do or what they're doing right, you know, and to build on that. And it's just so much fun, man. Anything that we can do and hang out and talk music, it's always a good time.
It is, you know, and I was going to say, Nashville, you know my buddy Bart Walker?
Ask Bart Walker.
Bart Walker, he was...
Is that your machine there?
No, that's the Tron Walker.
Oh, okay, different kind of Walker.
No, Bart Walker,
I'm
he's
sorry.
with the Royal Southern Brotherhood now, but he was the 2012 IBC Best Guitar Player from
Oh, that's awesome.
Nashville. He's with Gina Hughes' Galaxy Group.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
I've never met that. Never met.
You know, so hey, that's no thing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We're going to
It's
hang out a
cool.
lot more, you know?
Yeah, it's great, man.
So, and that's it. On the group page, we try to bring all that stuff into, like I said earlier, anybody with blues in their name, like blues societies all over the
Blue Man
world.
We make
Haven't got to them yet because they don't, you know, it's just a light page.
That was just a joke. I'm just kidding.
You know, I'm lucky enough, in fact, Facebook, you never know if that's who you're really friends with, you know.
Right.
It's like, what? Davey Patterson, you know, Gamma, but
Yeah.
you never
Oh, yeah.
know. But I friended a guy named Buckethead.
I know Buckethead.
Well, I do too. I've taken
Yeah.
his picture for years,
Yeah.
but I friended a guy on Facebook that his name's Buckethead. And then he finally, just last week, oh, happy birthday to Buckethead. It was a fan site, you know.
Yeah.
And I've been feeding them all my pictures and videos, and you know.
Oh, that's
But
cool.
shoot, you know, that's the whole thing. But spread the word and make some friends, and you know, see how life is a lot easier when you do that. I think that this segment is kind of a wrap, unless you guys got anything else you want to say about your websites, things coming up, tour.
I mean, you know, my Facebook site, Scott Wilson Official. You can always go on there and like it, and say hey, and keep up with Tantric, where we're at on the road, and all our antics, and craziness, and silliness.
So, is there going to be a big end of tour show here or something?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Just have to stay tuned and see what's going on there. We've got a new record that we're working on now, so when that comes out, you know, there may be a CD release party or something like that. We'll see how that goes.
Well, that 37 channels, boy, that's nice. I mean, the production is just amazing. And I didn't even just read the comments. I listened, and it's like, wow, there's such a great balance of your harmonies, and the balance between rockers and ballads, the acoustic and electric parts in the songs. You guys are really, I mean, I'm just really happy to be able to have the talent here in this town that you know, you bring to the table, and all the good things that we can look forward to in the studio, and mentoring, and you know, always keep us informed, keep posting on that group page for every show. I don't care. You know, I put up pictures whenever I shoot anywhere too, so it's good that you know, I may not know everybody that hangs out in this area of town specifically for the club that comes to every show you put on. So I put up the pictures, and I always say, tag yourselves, you know, make some more friends, build up the base of fans a little bit, get these bands some exposure. So yeah, that's incredible with 7 Days Lost going to Rockapalooza. I have Rock on the Range being recorded right now.
Oh, cool.
Actually, that was Last Savior of God.
Last Savior God.
Yeah.
I thought it was 7 Days Lost. Oh, he was in the running for that.
Right.
Huh?
No, they're amazing bands.
Yeah.
They've been, you know, playing out and around. Sorry.
See, that's it. No, don't be
I
sorry,
just caught
because
that right
I was
now.
the one that led that wrong. But I mean, if after this, I'm gonna hang out with you guys a lot more.
That sounds good.
I'm gonna beg to come in early to get in to see Jakey Lee and be in front for some good pictures on my little cart.
Yeah.
If
Right,
that's
looking forward to those pictures.
if that's possible to do. But thank you so much for both your time on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's just a great meeting you, man. And
Pleasure.
Always a pleasure to talk to you, and whatever time you have to give to us, and let's do this more often.
Absolutely.
Sounds great.